Welcome to Introduction to Two-Step Equations with Ms. Gillum, that would be me. Whether you are in my homeroom or in another class or even someone that doesn't go to my school, I hope this video helps you with understanding how to solve two-step equations. Let's get started. Okay, let's do a quick review over one-step equations because it's really important to have a strong foundation on one step before moving to two-step. So in one step, the first thing I tell my students to do is to draw the line to break up the two sides, because one of the golden rules of math is what we do to one side we do to the other. It's a golden rule in life. How you want others to treat you is how you should treat others. So if our goal is to always get the variable alone, because that's what we're trying to find, we're finding the missing piece, is this x. We need to get rid of the 12. So to get rid of the 12, we're going to subtract 12 from both sides. Because what I do to one side, I have to do the other. Well, 12 minus 12 makes 0, so they can just cancel out. And then 23 minus 12 is 11. And remember, with equations, we can always plug back in and check. So we can say 11 plus 12 equals 23. Yes, we know that's a true statement, so 11 works as our answer. Okay, we're going to start by looking at PEMDAS so we understand why we solve order of operations in the order we solve them. So when we solve order of operations, we start with parentheses, exponents, bracket, or parentheses or brackets, our grouping symbols, and then we work our way down all the way to adding and subtracting. Well, when we are solving equations, what we do is we unwrap the order of operations, so we start at the bottom and work our way to the top. So, for example, if we had x equals 5, let's say I wanted to so order of operations, if I had a multiplication and an addition problem in there, the multiplication would come first. So let's say I do times that by 2. So now I have 2x. Well, if 1x is 5, 2x has to be 10. So I wrapped it up. And then next, let's say we subtract 3. So then I know if I have 2x and I subtract 3, that has to be 7. So kind of so you can see what's going to happen to unsolve that, I would undo that. So I would add 3 to get here, and then I would divide by 2 to get here. I'm going to show you the efficient way, but this is so you could see why do we do it in that order. Is because we are undoing order of operations when we are solving any type of equation. Okay, let's practice a few problems. Okay, we're going to start with a simple one to begin with. So like I always say, first thing is draw your line so you see your two sides. So when you are unwrapping, you always start with the number that is farthest away from x. So x is attached right here. These two are attached together. So the farthest number away that is on the same side is the 4. So I would subtract 4 from both sides. Get rid of that. Now I'm left with 3x equals 19 minus 4 is 15. And then we know this is multiplication. So to undo multiplication, we divide. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, so now I have 1x left, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I'm saying that x equals 5. Well, we can check that by plugging x in. I can say, oh, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19. So my answer, I know, is going to be correct. Okay, sometimes what you could call your answer, remember equal signs can flip. Like if you are not one of those people that likes when the answer is on the left, you could rewrite this way and work it out if that makes more sense to you. Please know one thing about being in a pre-AP math class. I know when I taught 7th and 8th grade, the students that were flexible and understood how they could move things around without changing it is big. So that is one way you can flip it, but I'm actually going to leave it the way it is and solve it that way. So I'm still going to draw my line to split on the equal sign. So I'm still trying to get this x away. So the farthest thing that's not attached directly to the x is the minus 6. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Negative 6 plus a positive 6 makes 0. 12 plus 6 equals 18. Okay, and then we have to remember that this fraction right here really means division. So if it's multiplying or dividing, we need to multiply. So I'm going to multiply this side by 2 and this side by 2. These will cancel out. You are left with x. And then 2 times 18 would be 36. So we can check our answer by plugging back into the problem. 36 divided by 2 is 18. 18 minus 6 is 12. So I know my answer is correct. So if you're one of my students, then you will see in the problems that I've given you that there are some decimals. So you would solve it the exact same way. So let's say that I had a problem like 2 4/10 z plus 3 8/10 equals, I don't know, 12 4/10. You would solve this the exact same way you've been solving it. So you draw your line. Adding or subtracting goes first, so since it's plus 3 8/10, we're going to subtract 3 8/10 from both sides. Key there, we're going to do it from both sides. Cancels out. I'm left with 2 4/10 z. Remember, it doesn't matter if it's an x, z, or y. They're just variables. So then I'm left over here with 8 6/10, and then we would just need to divide both sides by 2 4/10. And if you need a calculator for this, since we're not at school, feel free to grab a calculator. So this would be 3 583 thousandths with the 3 repeating. Okay, and this one would be hard to check because of the decimals. I will tell you the one that is on your practice, it does not come out to be an ugly number with a repeating decimal. Okay, this will be the last problem we do together. I threw in some negatives and positives, or, well, the positives are there. I threw in some negatives again, just to review. So once again, we are drawing our line. Adding and subtracting comes first, so subtraction means we are going to add 5 to both sides. Okay, when you are dealing with positive and negative numbers, with adding, you have to think, okay, they are different signs, so I'm going to subtract them. So 18 minus 5 is 13. And the negative up here is bigger, so that means it's a negative 13. It's like saying you're down 18 points in a game, and then you added 5 points to that. Now you're only down 13. But I still have this x divided by 2, so we need to multiply both sides by 2. These will cancel each other out. Well, they'll make 1. They don't really cancel out. So we have negative 16 equals x, and that's all you're having to do on those negatives. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I'll be more than happy to help. Have a great day, guys.